Hello and welcome back to Cape Corner, where we explore the history, story, and cultural impact of a different character or group every episode. I'm Blue,
And I'm Jordan.
and today we're going to be talking about one of the most unfairly maligned characters of my lifetime, the quote-unquote the last Avatar. She's not, but
Yeah.
Korra. We're going to be talking about Korra, The Legend of Korra, the series, and the greater Avatar franchise as well. I'm kind of going to use this episode as a vehicle to talk because Avatar's kind of been in its bag lately.
Yeah.
We just got the Avatar Legends fighting game using the
Oh yeah, I
Avatar
forgot
Legends.
about that.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't really care for it too much.
Yeah.
I bought it, but some fighting games just don't click well in my brain, and
Mm-hmm.
this is one where I'm struggling to figure it out. Maybe I just need to play it more. But you know, I'm a casual fighting game player. I'm not a professional, so maybe the pros are having a grand old time with it, and maybe I'm just not good enough. Who knows? But yeah, it's using the Avatar Legends name, by the way, which that actually started with the tabletop role-playing game, which I
Mm-hmm.
also own. So I'm excited. It seems like Avatar Legends is going to be like the overall brand name for like crossover content.
That's cool.
Yeah, which we're also going to have more content for crossovers in the future because of the trailer for Avatar 7 Havens as well.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. The art style looks a little bit too soft for my liking.
Yeah, I noticed there was something about it that wasn't really clicking with me. Like I'm sure it's something that I can get used to once I start watching it, but I was like, oh, it's different.
It feels to me like it leans more into like modern computer aided kids cartoon style than like hand drawn anime influence style. Not that there was never computer aid, before, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like,
Yeah.
like your Blueies and your whatever other. Look, like I don't watch like Nick Jr. stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But like that kind of stuff. Still, the setting of a post-apocalyptic post-apocalyptic landscape, that was surprisingly difficult to say, is interesting. I had heard rumors. I've been hearing rumors about this for literal years.
Mm-hmm.
So to see that is in fact what they decided to go for, and the idea of twin avatars.
Yeah, very cool.
There's speculation on what that's going to be. My initial thought was that one of them is the light avatar and one of them is the dark avatar.
Who could be?
And they work together in like a yin-yang sort of thing, balance and harmony and all that.
Yeah.
I watched Blind Wave react to it, and one of them was like, could it be like, because like one of them is wearing pink in one shot. Could it be that one of them has like fire and air, and the other one has like earth and water or something? Like the elements are split between them.
Could be.
Which is also interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's a lot we don't know about that show yet. But one thing that the trailer, did give us is that it seems like the world has been ruined because of Korra. And Korra, well, she's just such an unlikable and hateful bitch, isn't she? Oh man, like she's weak and she ruined the past lives cycle, and she's just the worst avatar. Toph said so herself. She called her the worst avatar. Oh my god, they even know. Well, you're fucking wrong, you losers. before we get into our own discussion, I would like to
Mhm.
take a moment to reference my friend Korn. And look, Korn, if you're listening, I'm not bashing you, I promise. It's just that we literally just had this back and forth. And so it's extremely relevant. But also, the arguments that Korn made
Mhm.
are arguments I've heard for over a decade.
Yeah,
And I'm sick of this shit.
they're common.
Yeah, so uh, I would just like to tackle this. So first he was referencing the trailer. He said they really said Korra is the villain, LMAO. And I was like, I'm betting she fought to stop some kind of catastrophe or keep it from turning out worse than it did. But people don't have details, so they assume she
Yeah, I
caused.
mean, to me, it's pretty obvious from the setup that there's going to be some twist we learn along the way that it's not what it appears and it's not what people's perception is.
Right.
That feels like that's why you would put that in the trailer.
Yeah. Also, the new avatars are presumably going to have access to her as a past life, given that she started a news cycle. So
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point we're going to get to talk with her and be like, that's not what happened. Here's what actually happened, and get to learn it.
Yeah.
Um, but I said that feels like it reflects how people treat her character IRL, to be honest.
Hmm.
And he goes, she just had bad writing. They can lock in now. And I was like, she didn't have bad writing. She was written to go on a journey of becoming more compassionate. Her writing was
Yeah, I
really
agree.
good. But the writing issues mostly stem from the love triangle stuff in the first two seasons, which that I won't excuse.
Hmm.
That is bad.
Yeah, sure.
I did hate watching that shit. So, um, look, I having ranked all 7 seasons of the Avatar franchise so far, season 2 of Legend of Korra is at the bottom of my list.
Okay.
The back half of season 2 is actually good, and that two-parter special with Juan is fantastic. But those first, 5 or 6 episodes? It's
Hmm.
6 episodes, because Juan was 7 and 8. Those first 6 episodes are fucking hard to watch.
Yeah, fair enough.
And a lot of it boils down to Mako and Korra being a terrible couple.
Yes, true.
So no,
I remember that.
I won't excuse that. I will accept that. Sure, that was bad. Okay,
Yeah,
but moving past that, um, I said the Last Airbender wasn't free of bad writing decisions either, and Aang wasn't a perfect character. But nobody
true.
treats him the way they treat Korra because they're mad Legend of Korra did something different with the main character instead of making her a carbon copy of Aang.
Hmm.
And people gave up on her character before ever giving her a chance.
Yeah.
His response was Korra lost nearly every fight. The next Avatar won't be able to see the past lives for guidance. Uh, the side character was more spiritually connected than the Avatar, which is supposed to be all about spirituality. And then he said the bad romance and them cheating on each other. Yeah, look, I
Yeah,
already.
sure.
So my points are Korra didn't lose nearly every fight. And the ones she did lose were against some of the strongest benders in history. Do you want to know who Aang lost to? He
True.
he lost to a 14-year-old with hook swords.
That's true. That happened.
His first fight with Jet, he just straight up loses. Katara beats him.
Yep, true.
I then said she lost the past lives while dealing with a dark avatar, which Aang never had to fight.
True.
Um, the whole thing of Aang being so strong is because he's the Avatar and he's the only one in the world. Korra had to deal with another Avatar, which is, it's the argument of, well, why does Superman lose to Ultraman so much? Maybe because he's a clone of him.
Yeah. Hard to fight yourself, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and then as far as her spirituality, I said she wasn't as gifted as Aang spiritually, and he wasn't as gifted as her physically. They just have different strengths.
Yeah.
Um, and that means that they go on different stories of development in their series. Because wouldn't it be fucking boring if she was just like a really meek and gentle, spiritually strong person who only knew one element at the start, and she had to learn, the four elements the same exact way that Aang did? You might as
Yeah.
well just watch Last Airbender again. And that's what
Hmm.
pisses me off. Is that I'm obviously going off script at this point. Is that people people act like they just wanted The Last Airbender again. Guess what? You could just watch The Last Airbender again.
Yeah. True.
And now you can watch it in multiple ways, which we'll talk about that in a minute too. But like, oh fuck. Okay. Anyway, and I said she's not a bad avatar. There's a push to paint her like that just because she's different from Aang, but all the avatars are different from each other. With those arguments, you could say Aang is badly written because he's not like Kyoshi.
True.
Um, And I said, when people act like she's weak because she struggled more against her villains, it's like calling a top-level pro at fighting games weak for struggling against Sonic Fox, while you brag about being story mode on normal.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
her villains are way stronger than Aang's villains. Aang's big villain was Ozai. He was just a strong firebender. Like, he was arguably, like, in the top 3 firebenders in the world,
Yeah.
but, like, he's still just a firebender. She fought psychic bloodbenders, elite teams of special benders, a literal army of metal benders, and the living embodiment of chaos and hatred in the universe.
That is also true.
And I said, if you like Aang in his series more than Korra and hers, that's fine, but I'm tired of hearing the same arguments that show no understanding of the series that I've heard for over a decade. There's a lot to love about Korra, and it's frustrating how hard people try to make others hate her.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, again, I just want to bookend this. Corn, you're my boy. I love you. If you're listening to this, no hate to you. I do think you're wrong. And
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
I don't think it's your fault. I think that there's been, like I said, an overall push in the fan base community over the past decade plus, 14 years since the start of Korra, to hate her. And if you don't like her because she's just not your kind of character and you prefer the kind of character arc that Aang goes on, that's understandable. But if you don't like her because she betrayed your expectations, and when you realized that the show you were watching now was going to be different from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and so you just decided that she was bad from the start and were never interested in actually keeping an open mind to the development of her character, then you're a fool who prejudged things.
Yeah.
You didn't take the series as it was. And again, the series as it was wasn't free of criticism. I think the one true criticism you can lob at the writing is, again, the romance stuff. I think if you have issue with the structure of the season story, which I don't even hate that. I actually kind of like it, honestly, that she deals with a different villain every season.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, but if you do dislike it, then you blame Nickelodeon, not the writing team. If you, I don't know, dislike the pro bending stuff at the start of the show, I'm someone who likes like tournament arcs and animes, so
Yeah.
yeah, seeing like a sportified version of the fighting, I
I see.
thought,
I thought that was very creative. I'm like, yeah, this would be kind of a natural progression of the universe.
yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It reflects, like you said, the progression of us going into this like 1920s New York-esque
Hmm.
world. Which, yeah, let's talk about it. Like the Aang's time as the Avatar is over. He dies, but throughout his life, and we see the starts of this in like the comics, where
Hmm.
they take a Fire Nation colony in the Earth Kingdom. Like it was an Earth Kingdom village that the Fire Nation took over,
Yeah.
and that becomes the seat of this now cross-cultural um, area where uh, they would form the basis of the United Republic of Nations based on the idea of maybe in order for things to be in balance, that doesn't necessarily mean they need to be kept separate. Because that was a struggle that Aang had in the comics, was initially he was trying to keep the world exactly the way it used to be prior to the 100-Year War.
Hmm.
Um, but that would have meant tearing apart new families, new communities that were generated um, through the conquest of the Fire Nation. So him and Zuko kind of went head to head again, and eventually they came to an understanding that this is like the new development, like the world cultures can intermingle more,
Yeah.
and so with this sort of meeting of the minds, and years of the Fire Nation's industry now being put to work in tandem with the traditions of the Earth Kingdom and the Water Tribes, we got Republic City.
Hmm.
And I think Republic City as an environment is so cool, not only because it's something vastly different in aesthetic from The Last Airbender, and also because it allows us to focus a story in one location while giving us, still variety, as opposed to Last Airbender's globe hopping style of storytelling, but also because Republic City informs the way bending develops.
Yeah.
When you're on crowded city streets and you're an earthbender, you can't be doing Huagar style giant movements, throwing huge boulders and ripping up the city street. People are going to
Yeah.
get pissed. Their tax money is going to have to fix the fucking roads.
True.
So what do? You do a tighter, more compact style. You do boxing, and you box small rocks at people. And it's great. And again, the fact that like that makes sense in the lore, but it also makes sense from the net meta perspective of like, yeah, in the 20s they were going nuts with boxing. Like that was the big thing. So it's like, I'm aware it's older than that, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
the old timey black and white shit. It's it's one of those things where it's like it feels like the writing just lined up perfectly, like the stars aligned. Um, and the fact that we have this little moment where Bolin teaches Korra city style bending as opposed to the traditional styles of bending that she learned, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, it also goes to show that again she's a physical prodigy, because even though it's switching up the style pretty drastically, she picks it up quickly.
Hmm.
Um, she's been able to, on some level, do earth bending, fire bending, and water bending since she was 4 years old. Um, and I'm going to be honest, the fact that the series starts when she's 18, it's all got to come down to the White Lotus's overprotection, right? Like,
Yes.
there's no way it literally took her 14 years to master all three of those bendings.
True.
Um,
Probably.
I wouldn't call Aang a master of all the bendings by the end of The Last Airbender, but like
Hmm.
he at least became proficient in all of them in a year.
Yeah.
So, um, I would argue that Korra was probably like she didn't have the pressure of the imminent, end of the world on her shoulders,
Yeah.
but like she had to have been at least as proficient in those three bendings as Aang by the time she was like 10, right?
That is likely. Well, I mean, they show her like already being at least able to do, I think, three of the four as like a toddler,
Well, that's what I
right?
just said. She was able to
Yeah.
do them when she was 4 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
But so it's like, yeah, I don't know how much longer it's going to take you to get proficient.
yeah.
Yeah.
because like there's different levels of mastery, and what
And
she
am
did
I
as a
remembering
kid,
right? She like couldn't airbend at all until the beginning of the show, right?
zero
Yeah.
airbending, like
Yeah.
incapable. Um,
Too hard
which
headed.
yeah, which I think the first season does a fantastic job of
Oh, I think it's
explaining,
great.
because because for everyone else in this world, whether or not you're able to bend is down to biology,
Hmm.
uh, genetics. You can or you can't. It's a binary function, and that's it. But for the Avatar, she has the potential to bend all four. The problem isn't whether she's physically capable; it's whether or not she can get her mindset to match that of that bending style.
Yeah.
And in our Aang episode, we said that you would be an airbender and I would be a firebender.
Yep.
Um,
I maintain these are accurate.
fun little twist on that. What bending do you think that we would both struggle with the most?
Oh man. Oh, that's a great question. I have to like think about this. I've never thought in this lens before. Okay.
For
Um,
me,
because it's going to be the opposite of your like base personality. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the opposite like element, right?
right.
Well, all right. What are you thinking?
So I don't know. So the natural idea would be, oh, I'd be bad at airbending because I like to be direct and aggressive, but
Hmm.
I'm not really like against avoiding trouble. In fact, I kind of prefer not to fight if I don't have to.
Yeah.
So like I don't and like freedom and expressiveness and humor, I love all this shit. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I would actually struggle with airbending. Now with water or earth bending, the question is, am I better at being adaptable or am I better at being stubborn? And I feel like
You are better at being stubborn.
okay, thank you. See, I was gonna say I think I'm pretty adaptable, but I guess not. Fuck. Okay, you know what? I'll say this. I think from my point of view, looking at myself as my main character of my
Yeah.
story, I know of my own history and the way that I've adapted in my life. But if
True.
I
Yeah.
if I take a step back for myself, I I think while I have adapted in my life, I maybe have struggled a little bit with changing my mindset because I always have been extremely capable. That doesn't mean I'm always right. In fact, there's been plenty of times where I've been wrong, but
Yeah.
because I'm so used to being right more often than not, then I have to go, well, I mean, but the chances of me being wrong are low, so I'm just going to assume I'm not wrong and fuck you.
Yeah, see, well, see, I'm like trying to think of this in my own lens, and I'm like, it's hard because I'm not quite sure. Because okay, so adaptable, it depends on if we're talking adaptable like long term big things or adaptable, immediate day to day. Because it's like being in like a social situation. It's like I'm fluid. I'm just I'm. It's like I can do that. I can adapt to whatever's going on. But I am terrible with change.
Okay,
Like
so
something
if we're talking
like
that way,
I struggle
I
to
think
adapt.
I think that has actually helped me narrow it down. I would view waterbending as being able to change in the moment because the entire
Interesting.
point
Okay.
is fluidity from one motion to the next, being able to redirect an opponent's own
I
attack
think
back
I'm
at
I think
them.
I'm decent with that. I still think I'm an airbender, but I think I'm decent with that. So I don't think that's like the hard one
I think
for me.
I'm good at long-term change, but I'm bad at changing in the moment. So yeah, I'll say that waterbending would probably be my weakest, which sucks
Interesting.
because I love water and blue and
Yeah, I'm torn here. Okay, so let's see. Earthbending, to be bad at earthbending, you're like not great at maybe assertiveness,
standing your
standing up for
ground.
yourself. Yeah.
Um,
I struggle with that a bit.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
you
see
did
here.
tell me last Avatar episode that like there was an instant where someone pushed you over and you decided to do a Heath Ledger impression. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah, I would say maybe you struggle with Earth.
Yeah, it might be Earth. I don't know what personality trait would mean you struggle with fire. I'm trying to picture what being bad at
So
firebending is.
so Earth and Fire can be kind of hard to parse apart from
Yeah,
each other, because they both involve being like quote unquote tough, right?
yeah,
But whereas Earth is more stable and solid, and you're able to root yourself. And think of it this way: if earthbending is defense and traditionalism, firebending is offense and progressivism.
okay,
Where
sure.
earthbending, you're strong because you refuse to let other people push you around. You've uh, firebending is like you're willing to, I don't want to say push others around, but like it kind of
Yeah,
that's why they lent themselves to being the villains at the start of the show, is because
yeah,
it's hard to get away from like a bully mentality. Like Earth stays still, but fire spreads. Fire wants to, you know, uh,
see, and I'm definitely bad with that. I'm not an ambitious person. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's ambition and drive, and I don't
yes,
have
that's
those either.
exactly what it is.
I'm bad with those. I'm the like at work, like everyone's always talking about. Yeah, I'm shooting for this. I'm trying to get this position. I'm trying to move up. I'm like, I'm good. Just leave me right here.
I think, you know what, that might be a good way to parse the two, is that Earth has a lot of security to it. Like
Yeah,
unchanging as a mountain, you're perfectly content with the way things are, whereas fire, a forest fire is constantly growing and spreading, and
yeah.
even a tiny flame is breathing and moving and shifting. Fire doesn't like things to be stagnant.
Yes, I think for me it may be fire. I don't know. I'm torn. It's either fire or earth.
I'll say,
It's probably earth, but I don't know.
I mean, hell, you could be bad at both. Like,
I could just really only be an airbender who's not really open to the like a hint of waterbender, openness there, but not much. Could
yeah.
be.
I don't know, I just think that's a fun exercise because,
Yeah.
again, like bring it back to Korra, she can't airbend because she's so physically gifted that she can win pretty much any head-to-head fight she takes on. So the idea of like avoiding fights, being tricky or clever, like look at her fucking arms. She is a
Mhm.
unit. She is not interested
Yes.
in being tricky or clever or avoidant. She's interested in beating the shit out of anyone who looks at her wrong.
Yeah.
So she can't airbend. And literally the only time, the first time she does airbend is when all three of her other bendings are taken away, and now she's in a vulnerable state where she can't just plow through all of her problems.
Yeah.
So now she has to rely on alternative methods of fighting.
Hmm.
And look, okay, here's another criticism. Some people want to be like, well, the writing, just gave her airbending. It's really convenient. And to that I say, the writing just gave Aang energy bending.
Yes, that is a really good response to any sort of writing inconsistency things. Is that something that most of us consider to be one of, if not the best, like TV series ever? Maybe, I don't know. I think it's in the top three. Um, that it's got like the most shoehorned Deus Ex Machina ending.
I was literally going to say the lion turtle is the Deus Ex Machina. It's it's a literal, like, godly figure
Very
in a
much.
machine.
Yes, very much so.
So for it to just be like, hey, what's up? I'm in the story now. Here you go. Here's how you can actually
Here's how to end your show.
Because look, let's be real for a second. Arguments of whether or not it was the right thing to do aside, just on a realistic level, if Aang did not get given energy bending and he went into the final battle and he refused to kill Ozai, and look, I'm not interested in having the fucking debate about whether or not killing a world leader who is enacting fascist propaganda would be a good or bad thing. Oh, what if you martyr him? Oh, what if the vice president is worse than him? Look, let's just be realistic. If you take your shot and you beat him, and then you go, well, I'm not gonna finish him off, then he's still a world leader, and he's still gonna fuck everything up. Like, best case scenario, Aang and his friends, like, knock Ozai out, keep him restrained until Sozin's comet passes, and then what? Like, you wait until he uses his firebending to break out of prison, and
or uses his immense propaganda, influence to, like, he's got everyone loves him. He's got loyalists.
Exactly. Part of the reason Zuko is able to take over after the defeat of Ozai is because Ozai's image as one of the strongest firebenders in the world is now removed, which removes his political clout.
Yeah.
People aren't willing to rally behind some weakling.
Some weakling.
They have to envision their glorious leader as a truly threatening, almost a force of nature, which is why when people point out the failings of certain world leaders, their fan base won't defend why they're still a good world leader in spite of that. They will try to change the narrative that they don't have those failings. Picking a completely random example out of nowhere. Let's just say, what world leaders are there right now? Who could I talk about? Donald J. Trump. When you point out that he failed in school, people will say, actually, he's smarter than you, and he's playing 4D chess. He was in the Epstein files, not because he's a pedophile, but actually he was secretly infiltrating.
He's a secret agent.
And he was trying to take down the pedophile cabal.
My God.
That
was the funniest one. I just want to point out, like, of everything I've seen in the last year or so, that's the funniest one.
Yeah. Yeah. If you point out that apparently he has a tiny penis.
According to someone who would know.
Yeah, someone who slept with him. People go, well, actually, like, look at this AI image I generated of him being super muscular and sexy, and clearly women have wanted to have sex with him. Why would they want to have sex with the big rich guy if he wasn't good at sex?
There's just no other reason.
See, that's what happens. People will twist the narrative. So what you have to do is present a unquestionably, like, undeniable facet of reality. And for beating Ozai, it was taking away his firebending.
Yeah.
But if Aang didn't have that capability, well, then he better fucking get on board with killing him. I'm sorry. Like, because look, I understand where Aang is coming from. I do, but the other avatars are right. You're not just a guy. You are the avatar. The world is relying on you, and in this kind of situation, you need to be expected to put your own spiritual growth aside for the sake of saving the world. And Aang wasn't willing to do that. And I'm sorry, but for all the shit people give Korra, that's a character flaw.
Yeah, it is. I think that's. I was trying to figure out where my brain was going there for a second, and it rebooted in real time. But it gets frustrating to me when character flaws are viewed as writing problems.
Yeah.
This is a dumb, weird example recently, but this bothered me about the trend in decreased media literacy just in general. I noticed an example recently. I was watching a clip from The Flash on YouTube, and I went into the comments, and people were talking about show got terrible after season whatever, and yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it before. As when I actually I've been rewatching it to fall asleep to, not really paying attention, but I started realizing it's wait, it's more than half that I didn't like? That's upsetting. Why did I spend so much time on it?
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing I'm getting to is someone commented that they stopped watching after the season 2 finale because it shit on the season 1 finale because Barry goes back and saves his mom, and that ruins the message of season 1. And I was upset by this comment because I'm like, no. Barry betrayed the message of season 1. The show didn't. The show thinks it's bad because then Flashpoint happens and everything's fucked up. It's Barry has a character flaw. That's not the same thing as bad writing.
I had this,
and so that's an example here.
I had this discussion recently where I think people haven't learned the lesson that character regression is not a mistake made by the writer, and it's in fact not even unrealistically. People regress all the time.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes you have to take a step backward to take 2 steps forward.
Mm-hmm.
We like to imagine ourselves as if we're growing and developing. It's a straight shot. You're constantly going forward. Maybe you go slower in some points and faster in others, but you're always moving forward. It's no, sometimes it's more like trying to drive a car, and sometimes you fuck up and start to go down, one path, and you're like, actually, I'd like to go this other one. I gotta back up. Let me beep, beep, and then turn around and change which way you're going.
Mm-hmm.
That just happens. And yeah, Barry is wrong for fucking up the season 1 finale.
Yeah.
And he gets punished for it at the start of season 3. And that's a punishment that winds up lasting with him so much that in later seasons where really bad shit happens, he's super hesitant to resort to changing the past to fix it. He'd rather just go forward and try to figure out how to fix it normally. Which that's the point of the writing. How do you make a show about a character who can time travel at will compelling? Give him a personal reason to not time travel.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Aang, people grew up with Aang. And people have the most beloved fond memories of The Last Airbender as a show. And it's the Goku syndrome. It's the same shit when people refuse to accept that Goku's a bad dad. It's people refuse to accept that Aang had character flaws. And so when they see Korra, who they do not have a strong connection to because she's the second one, not the one they grew up with, and they see her character flaws, they're like, oh, Aang would never. Oh, my glorious king Aang could never botch something this bad. Well, guess what? He does. Rewatch The Last Airbender. He kind of fucked up quite a bit, actually. Do you want to look?
And there's a lot of character flaw episodes, and the show resolves. There's the one where he hides from Katara and Sokka information that their dad might be alive. And it's that was fucked up. And then he learns that he grows.
And you know what? people might argue, well, later seasons he doesn't do that. Guess what? The Western area. Take a look. Right after the Day of Black Sun, what's the first thing he does? He winds up in the Western Air Temple and starts trying to act like little kid season 1 Aang again. Fun. Wow, let's have fun. Woo, let's race. And the other's like, Aang, we have to have a discussion. And he's like, what? I can't hear you. He's literally running from his problems.
Yeah.
And
I think you're onto something about the nostalgia element here, where it's like we kind of put on blinders to the things we were growing up with, not in quality. I think that's the big thing, is that there are two ways to grow up with media. And, well, I guess there's three ways. There's the way to do it blindly, which is how you get a lot of anti-woke grifter stuff when they start realizing they hate women and things. But there's two ways to grow up with media, and I think there's the, it turns out the stuff I grew up with was bad, or, pretty much everything's the same, actually. And that's kind of the one that I hit, where it's like, if you hate Korra, and then you look back on Aang, you are left with those two options. You either need to go, I guess Avatar was bad, and I didn't notice because I was a kid, or you go, I must be overreacting. There's some nostalgia element here that's making me think that one was better than this one. And it's like, it probably is better, but it's not for these like massive writing flaw kind of things.
Yeah. We've had this same sort of discussion about Star Wars, where people loved the original trilogy and then they hated the prequels. And then when the sequels came out, they went, actually, the prequels are great. They were totally, I'm assuming we're going to see a similar, thing when Seven Havens comes out. People are suddenly going to be swinging.
Korra was good. This sucks. And now there's two female protagonists.
Oh my god! And I think those people are fucking cowards and fools, and I want to strangle them, because I've been defending Korra from the fucking start. You fake ass bitches.
Back in the day, the wokes had the decency to only give us one female protagonist.
One black girl. Now which, you know what? Let's have that discussion too. Is it because Aang passes for a white boy and Korra passes for a black girl? Could that
There is a non-zero element of that. Obviously not everyone who dislikes Korra but likes Aang has that, but there is a non-zero element of that.
Yeah. Thankfully, a lot of that kind of criticism was trimmed very quickly, but it did exist. I remember I was there when the scrolls were written. And also, the typical, she's too muscular. Fucking, Mako's grandmother being like, you're awfully muscular for a girl, aren't you? It's like, unironically, those people.
Also, she's so hot.
She's incredibly attractive. I love muscular women. Because I'm a fucking coward who has to base my self-worth on whether or not I'm
some good arms, dude. Asami too, but we're only talking about Korra today.
That's actually a conversation I had a while ago too. Was I still sometimes see people be like, muscular women are gross, and it's just like,
how are you still at this stage of development?
You're cowardly. Like, do you think that because your girlfriend is strong that makes you weak? Stop living this comparative mindset where you're constantly in competition with other people. Two people can be strong, and if you're not strong, then that's your problem, and stop making it everyone else's problem. Learn to enjoy being weak. There's an entire archetype of people out there that really like being dominated. You can be that. Open yourself up. It's fine. But I'm going to stand here proudly enjoying the biceps on that girl, because goddamn. Also, Asami. Jeez
Yep.
Woo!
Why does every fucking episode turn into this for us?
I think I'm a bad influence on you.
The entirety of Power Rangers.
Well, okay.
Like 30 straight episodes of Power Rangers and now this.
We explained that.
We did.
I think
we did. But it's equally applicable here now.
But Asami was drawn to be one of the most attractive women in fiction.
Yeah, it was very intentional.
She's practically like Jessica Rabbit. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, let's actually like talk about like the show now that
sure.
Because like we've already spent half the episode on just like defending the virtues of the character and talking about the franchise overall. Oh fuck, I haven't said anything about the live action Netflix shit yet. Okay, hang on, quick thinking. Brain blast, gotta figure out how I want to do this. Yeah, okay, let's actually talk about some Korra stuff first, and then I'm sure I'll find a way.
Sure.
Like, we'll find a way.
Yeah.
Team Avatar in Korra versus Team Avatar in The Last Airbender. I think it's such a natural thing to be like, oh, the classic Team Avatar is unbeatable, but it's also really easy to forget that Toph doesn't appear until season 2, episode 6.
True.
And Zuko is not a member of Team Avatar until season 3, episode 10?
Yeah, he's not in it much as a team member.
Yeah, he's only in there for like the last few episodes.
Yeah.
So if you're really talking about Team Avatar for like almost a season and a half, it's just Aang, Katara, and Sokka.
Yeah.
They have Korra, Mako, Bolin, and Asami. Pretty much from the start. Like, Asami isn't like fully locked in until we have the reveal that she's not evil, which is the twist.
I thought that was great. I thought that was a good time.
Which is so funny because she was originally written that she was going to be the twist villain, that she was evil, that she was...
Oh, I didn't realize that. I'd completely forgotten that.
Oh yeah, the creators confirmed this. They were originally going to make her a twist villain, and they decided when it came time to make the episode that they had spent too much time building her up as like a good person, and like all of the suspicion is clearly falling on her from the viewer, that the actual twist would be if she actually just was a good person.
Yeah.
And so she betrays her dad. They changed that.
I didn't know that, and that makes me really happy because I think this is better than what we would have gotten the other way.
Yeah, I agree. Also, she's this universe's closest thing to Batman.
That's true.
She has the long black car, and she uses gadgets and martial arts against people with superpowers.
Yeah.
She's also rich.
Yeah.
I feel like there had to be some inspiration there. Which also fits because original Gotham is very much like early New York inspired.
Very true. Hence the nickname.
But, overall, I do think I would still lean more the classic Team Avatar because Sokka, I love him. He's great. In this new fighting game, he moves different. Like, it's... I don't know if you've seen the animations for Sokka, but it's so fucking funny. Also, the fighting game has a bunch of smear frames, which are so screen grabbable. It's really funny looking. But Sokka's great. Katara, I kind of have always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Katara because I admire some of her traits, but Okay, because of the nature of her having to become like the mom at a super early age for her family, she's not good at being a kid.
True.
Which makes her frustrating in some, but also like funny in some points. The episode Sokka's Master, where because Sokka's gone, they don't have the comedic relief of the group, and so they're all getting bummed out. And so like her idea of humor is like just putting Momo on top of her head and be like, huh? And have you
I don't think so.
have you seen? It's an image of some white woman inside a grocery store with a bag of
Oh
food
wait,
in her hand.
yeah. I thought you were going to ask about a specific image of Momo, but nope. Yeah, I've seen that.
And
Yeah,
like,
she's
so
crazy.
love her. It's like,
So quirky. So cool.
oh my god, it's so fucking funny. I think of that when I see Katara do that shit.
That's
Um,
funny. I like
uh,
that.
Obviously Toph. Look, she's the goat. I love her. Everything
Yep.
about Toph is great.
Hell yeah.
Um, and Zuko is he's Zuko holds a special place in my heart because not only is his story incredibly relevant and relatable to me, but he forms the groundwork for other characters that are even more relevant and relatable to me.
hmm
Bakugo from My Hero Academia, a lot of his story, and also, look, I know everyone's going to say, but Shoto Todoroki is literally Zuko. He got the scar and everything. Yeah, I get that. But like Zuko was kind of like diluted into both of those characters. Like he was split. And the
Sure.
aspect of his journey being like an angry um, teenager who has more of like a villainous side and has to learn to confront aspects of himself before truly joining the heroes. So yeah, he shares that with Bakugo, and I love Zuko, and he's one of my all-timers. But again, he is not a part of Team Avatar for a lot of the story. Um, as far as Korra's team, Bolin. Ooh, you know what? Bolin might follow a similar kind of thing as Katara with me, where I love
hmm
a lot of aspects about him, but god damn it, does he frustrate me sometimes. What do you mean you didn't know you joined the Nazi party?
That's funny.
He just he just joined Kuvira's army and was like, duh, I think I'm helping people. Uh, and it's like, you are not endearing enough to be this stupid.
That's great.
You are endearing, but this is jumping the shark. Um, Mako, I just don't think I like Mako.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think there's parts of him that are fun to watch, but there's a certain golden ratio for asshole characters
Yeah.
where you have to pepper in just enough stuff that's likable about them to make it endearing that they're kind of an asshole most of the time. And I don't think you ever make a cake that didn't have enough of an ingredient in it.
No, but I get the analogy.
Okay, well, I think he's a cake that's missing, I don't know, yeast or whatever. Fucking.
Yeast.
The point is, I think he's a little too stoic and a little too, um, much of a cheater.
Yeah, fair.
Like, he cheats a lot. And only some of that can be attributed to other people. Like, the season 2 thing of him getting, back with Asami after breaking up with Korra, and then once Korra comes back and has lost her memory of breaking up, just immediately ditches Asami again. Fucking
That's fucked up.
not only is it a fumble of the century, but yeah, it's really fucking gross, dude. It's so gross that I actually think it's kind of bad that at the start of season 3, Asami and Korra are both just like lightly teasing him about it, and it's like,
Yeah.
you should have dropped him from your fucking friend group.
Yeah, fair enough.
Either that, or you should be relentlessly throwing in his face that, hey, it's us, the 2 girls you cheated on, just constantly until he like makes up for it. But I don't know. And then Asami again, like she's a queen, and I wish we had more, and by more I mean any representation of the fact that her and Korra got together in the end in animated.
Yeah.
Because like they're a couple in the
Yeah.
comics, and that's nice, but most people don't fucking read those.
Yeah, and I mean, it's clear that they did get together, but they didn't go anywhere after that. The
Yeah,
show ended.
that was literally the last moment of the show.
That's the
Also,
last moment.
the creators were trying to make them kiss at the end.
I remember hearing this, yeah.
Let me paint a picture for you. You're the creators of Avatar: The Last well, I mean, yes, the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but also the creators of Legend of Korra. Nickelodeon only greenlights you for 1 season. So, you make a season that is supposed to end the story of Korra because that's all you got. And so you have her meet Aang and unlock airbending and get back all the bendings at the end. And she says, "I love you" to the pretty boy that you named after the dead legend. Um, and and then you're told, "Oh, that did surprisingly well. Do another season," and then you struggle a bit with season 2 because you have to actively regress Korra's character because you now progressed her too far too fast
Yeah.
because you weren't aware you were going to do more of the show. And then they tell you, okay, another season now, please. And now you're more prepared for their bullshit. So you're now able to more gracefully grow Korra into an upstanding character. But I argue by season 3, she's fucking fantastic. A lot of her flaws in the first 2 seasons are resolved. And then they go, okay, we are going to make you make season 4, but we hate you and everything you stand for. So you're only going to get like an online release. You're not going to be aired on actual like TV, but make it anyway. Fuck you. And then you go, actually, sorry, this all starts actually towards the tail end of season 3. So in the tail end of season 3, you go, okay, well, since you told us to go fuck ourselves and we're only going to be an online release now, we can kind of just do what we want. So we're going to make Zahir kill the Earth Queen in a graphic fashion. And then Nickelodeon's like, no, that's not what we wanted. Not like that. And and then you can do whatever you want with season 4, and you're like, okay, and now we're going to have the 2 girls kiss at the end, and then Nickelodeon goes, stop, we will not allow this anymore. You won't even get an online release if you do this. And it's like, motherfucker, you didn't care about our show enough that you threw us to your online platform, and now all of a sudden you want to take creative demands? And Nickelodeon goes, yes, thank you for your time.
That's great.
So to anyone who thinks that The Legend of Korra is bad, I would tell you that it should have been a lot worse, but it was handled by kind of masters of their craft.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the like the main characters, but what about them villains?
Mm-hmm.
I argue
Got
that
cool
every
villains.
single villain from Legend of Korra is better than Ozai.
Ooh, interesting. In terms of having complexity and intrigue, yes.
But also scale of threat. Unalaq,
Polar
you could maybe
threat.
argue not, but he merges with Vatu and suddenly becomes way more threatening.
That's true. Okay, I gotta remember the layout of this. So season 1, is it just Unalaq?
Uh,
It's
no. Season 1 is Amon.
is Amon. Yes, okay. It's the blood bending to get rid of powers thing.
Amon is one of the coolest characters in the entire fucking franchise. I will
Yeah.
hear no argument. Amon is so fucking cool. He's voiced by Steve Bloom. He's got a sick mask.
Yeah.
Um, he goes through most of the series just like as basically a martial arts master. Not like he can bend, but you don't know that he's doing it. And he's so dope and he's scary and he's also a communist king.
Yeah.
King shit. But
See, I was gonna argue that he is more interesting than Ozai, but that like Ozai is gonna like incinerate half the planet and rule with an iron fist over those who are left, and I feel like that's not Amon's goal.
no, but do you not think Amon is scary as shit?
I think he's scary, but I think he's technically lower stakes
Okay,
than Ozai, but
let's
a better written villain.
but let's take both of their goals to their extreme endpoint.
Sure.
Ozai consolidates all of the cultures of the world under the Fire Nation. And he probably treats other benders as like second class citizens, but like they're still going to be citizens. Whereas
True.
if Amon was able to operate his goals to the end, there would be no benders. And
True. He is doing a form of genocide.
yes, exactly. So I would argue that
Sozin did a direct genocide, but he's not the villain of the show. Ozai
right,
is. So
it's the
yes.
backstory.
Yes.
So I still argue that in terms of physical presence and fear, as well as greater, like the series implications if they win, you might be able to argue that like Ozai is more threatening in the grand scheme of things in a certain degree, but I would argue that Amon is at the least on par.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unalaq and Vatu. Um, Vatu is literally the antithesis of the Avatar. He feels like big and boss. In fact, I feel like the last shot of the trailer for Seven Havens, like it's got to be implying Vatu's return,
I
right?
think so. Yeah. I was like, is that are they doing it? Because that'd be cool.
Which would make sense. There should be a Dark Avatar. I've seen people argue that there should not be a Dark Avatar anymore because Unalaq was killed in the Avatar state, to which I say, was he? Was that the Avatar state? He was a giant fucking monster.
Yeah, a bit of a gray area there.
I always assumed that he wasn't killed in the Avatar state. Some weird exercising shit is different from physically murdering their physical body while they're in this specific mode. So
Yeah.
I kind of figured that there would just be like a rebirth cycle for the Dark Avatar now. And I'm sure and people are also, I've seen people argue, well, Vatu, if he was killed in the Avatar state and that's like London, Vatu can't come back for another 10,000 years. To which I said, Rava was killed and she came back like an hour later.
True.
They will always exist inside of each other. So like, they don't need harmonic convergence to come back. They'll just come back. Maybe it might take longer than, when Korra was able to physically pull Rava out, but I'm sure it wouldn't take 10,000 years.
Yeah, that seems likely.
But anyway,
Interesting.
I think Unalaq by himself
Is that
not
just season 2? There are 4 seasons, right? Oh, I forgot about evil earthbender metalbender.
Kuvira.
Yeah, I like spaced on that season for a split second. My brain went, Amon Unalaq, and then I keep forgetting his name, but Evil Airbender,
Zahir.
Zahir. I gotta rewatch this show. I've
Yeah,
watched this like I don't remember when I watched it for the first time, but I think I've watched it maybe twice, but probably just once, and it was years and years ago. Like I have to rewatch this. It's
uh,
so good.
it's an absolute rewatch
But
must.
yeah, so Kuvira.
I think
Yeah, she's
I think
also probably a better written villain. Because I was damn traumatized. I was intimidated. That whole season was stressful.
yeah, we're kind of skipping ahead. I did want to finish talking about Unalaq
Oh
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah, yeah. My brain like rebooted for a second there.
You're fine. Unalaq, he is not as physically imposing as Ozai. I
Yep,
will give this up. And Unalaq by himself, without being Dark Avatar Unalaq, is probably the least threatening of all the villains, but he is conniving. He is a schemer. He's a manipulator, which makes him threatening in a different way. And once you make him the Dark Avatar, um, it's scary, and especially because he is a better waterbender than Korra. It immediately becomes this like fear of if we actually let him escape from here and he goes and he gets all four bendings, we're done. We're cooked. It's so Jover. We need to fight him when all he's got is his Vatu enhanced waterbending. That's
Mhm.
literally our only shot. Um, and then the harmonic convergence shit lets him turn into a giant fucking monster. Uh,
Yep.
so I still think he's quite threatening. And I also think he's like he's difficult to unilaterally hate because some of the stuff he says has a point, to the point where at the end of the series, Korra has the chance to undo everything he did and goes, no, he kind of had a point though. The spirits should probably live on Earth with us.
Hmm.
So I think he's more compelling than Ozai. Um, then we get to Zahir. Look, Zahir is my favorite villain of the entire franchise. I think we spent uh 5 seasons uh uh almost deifying the idea of airbenders, that they're the most peaceful, some of the most powerful, um the funniest, the greatest, the kindest. The airbenders were the best, and it's the most huge tragedy in the world that they were genocided. And that's why Tenzin and his family is so important. So for a villain to be an airbender, I think part of the reason people hate The Legend of Korra is because it humanizes the mythology of The Last Airbender. It says Aang was kind of a bad dad, and people hate that shit.
True.
And it says that airbenders were also human beings, and even when you find enlightenment, you can still do harmful things.
Yeah.
Because Zahir is enlightened. He's one of the wisest characters in the entire series, but he's an anarchist. And,
Yep.
and that's another thing. I really like that every villain has a different ideology. Um, Amon is a communist. Uh, Unalaq is a uh what do you call it? Not a traditionalist, but like a what's traditionalism in nature? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know I can't summon
Someone
the word.
who a fundamentalist who believes that going back to our natural roots would progress humanity.
Yeah.
There's a term for it. I just don't know it. Sorry,
Yep.
guys. Um, but and then Zahir is an anarchist who believes that governments only shackle humanity and make everything worse, and he's not entirely wrong.
Yeah.
We're kind of seeing that play out in real time.
Hmm.
And then Kuvira is again, she's basically a fascist. Yeah, like
Yeah.
she's like, not only do I not believe that governments are bad, I want to run a totalitarian government where I rule everything with an iron fist.
Yep. It's
Which
everyone else's governments are bad. That's why everything should be me.
yeah, she's a nationalist. Um, which is great because then when Zahir returns in season 4, like Korra's like, "Oh, you're the villain from the last season, and I can't trust you." And he's like, "No, I want to help you." And she's like, "What?" He's like, "I
What?
fucking hate Kuvira. I made a monster. We gotta stop this bitch." Which is great. I love it. It speaks to the fact that these characters are so well written. The strength of Ozai is that he's not a character. He's
Yeah.
he's an impending doom in the flesh of a character,
That's
but
a good way to put that.
he is the ticking time bomb. He's the clock on the series. If Ozai gets his way, it's the end of everything. So we
Yeah.
don't really need to look at him as a person, which means we can just make him a generic mustache-twirling supervillain who burned his son's face and manipulates his daughter and
Hmm.
maybe killed his wife, question mark, spoiler alert, he didn't, um, and all this stuff. But, like, I'm
And
sorry,
he's
but
Mark Hamill.
yes, and he's Mark Hamill. But for me personally, that's less enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. That's fair. I think you're right. Just from like a writing perspective at the very least. That yeah, he's kind of more of the setting, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, kind of.
He's like just kind of foundational to the world. He's the obstacle. He's not really he doesn't need to be a character because that's not the goal of the show. But yeah, that's interesting.
Right. Which is, I like, I like when stories make me think. I
Hmm.
like when stories make me grapple and figure out what's important to me. And villains that you could almost find yourself agreeing with are endlessly fascinating. And it, I feel like it builds my connection to the main character more when they galvanize and they settle on their reasons why, no matter how agreeable the villain may be, I still need to stop them.
Yeah.
I mentioned My Hero Academia earlier, and Tomura Shigaraki, the villain of that story,
Hmm.
is a very tragic figure. He's an understandable figure. His power is to destroy. And his
Yeah.
ideology is that our society is fucked up and I need to destroy it all. And we need to wipe the slate clean and create something better. And I think he's right. It's a very radical ideology, but it's one with a lot of merit that no matter what you feel, you can look around and notice that something in our world is broken.
Hmm.
And the fact that at the end of the day, Deku, the main character of My Hero Academia, he goes, "I still need to stop you because even though I recognize there are problems in our society, there are things I love and people I love that will also be destroyed by you. And
Yeah.
I don't want to ignore your side of things, but I want to try and make things better without destroying all the good stuff we've built too."
Hmm.
And I might struggle to agree with him, but I understand why he comes to that conclusion, and so I still root for him in the end.
Hmm.
And the point of that show is to give an optimistic idea of the future where we don't need to tear it all down, but we can fix it. And whether or not I think that's applicable to the real world is sort of inconsequential because it's applicable to that world. And Legend of Korra does a similar thing where she grows by coming to understand her villains. She still hates and fears Zahir, but she comes to an understanding with him. And because of that, she's able to defeat Kuvira the right way. Do you know that, like, she didn't kill Amon, but she put Amon in a position where the only way truly out for him was to die at the hands of his brother.
Yeah.
And she did kill Unalak.
True.
And Zahir, uh, she didn't have to kill him, but um, he did have to be like completely locked away from the entire world. So he might as well be dead if it weren't for the fact that he could also travel to the spirit world. Um, for Kuvira, it's only through her failures in dealing with the first two and her struggle in dealing with the third that for this fourth villain, she was able to come to a true understanding. She says it herself, look, this is why I don't trust people that don't like Korra, the series or the character, because one of the most powerful things I've heard in the franchise is Korra summing it up in the end. I think I had to go through all of this pain and all of this struggle to become more understanding of other people. And I can understand you now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't hate you. I need to stop you, but I don't hate you. And for someone who at the start of the series is like wanting to fucking tear apart every random mobster she sees on the street, you cannot tell me that's not growth.
Yeah.
Korra, as a character, is the polar opposite of Aang. Aang is a soft boy who just wants peace and love. He's a very hippie, which is why he gets along with the hippies.
Yes.
And he needs to learn to become harder and stronger, and some might say faster and better. That's a Daft Punk reference. Anyway, he he goes through the very prototypical hero's journey. Um, a boy who doesn't know, well, gee, Willikers, mister, I don't know if I have it in me. And learning, actually, I'm a man, and I can influence the world around me, and I can be a hero and save the day. It's baby stuff, but it is baby stuff taken to its utmost zenith of writing. It's
Yeah.
it's a classic. But Korra is a more complicated tale of someone who already has the strength and the hardness and needs to learn the compassion that Aang started with. They start from opposite ends of extremes and have to meet in the middle, which
Yeah.
is in itself a sort of meta reflection of the thesis of Avatar, harmony and balance through opposing forces. You have um, you have a very basic story where the firebenders are the bad guys. And yes, we see nuance within that. We see non-firebenders assaulting firebenders like Jet in his debut episode. We see firebenders being wise and caring people like Zhong Zhong. We even see the redemption of firebenders like Zuko. But and we also see villainous forces in like the Dai Li being earthbenders that are fucked
Yeah.
up Manchurian candidate ass motherfuckers. And um we even see Hama, a waterbender, being one of the most twisted one-off villains of that entire show. I would say she is the most twisted one-off villain of The Last Airbender.
Oh, probably, yeah.
The Puppet Master will forever live as an all-time episode, but they don't. The, the Fire Nation is still the bad guys at the end of the day, whereas Korra goes, every nation is the bad guys if the circumstances are right. It's not just little one-off characters or individual episodes. It's showing like, hey, here's a couple of waterbenders that are the season villains. And next season, here's another waterbender who is the season villain. And at the end, we have an earthbender who is the season villain. And in season 3, it's an airbender even. Um, it They made the decision to not have a firebender be a season villain because we already had an entire show dedicated to the firebenders being the villains. And
Mm-hmm.
I think part of the reason people struggle to not struggle, they make the conscious decision to hate the Legend of Korra is because they're the same people who are the kinds of people that would go on Twitter and say Grey Jedi are stupid.
Yeah.
The Empire is bad and the Jedi are good, and I don't want to think about it any deeper than that. And in the same way, the Fire Nation is bad, and all the other ones are good, and I don't want to think about it deeper than that. These are the people who probably wouldn't have liked the Avatar State, the first episode of season 2, where an Earthbender is a fucking psychopath, or the Puppet Master, where a waterbender is the villain. Or at the very least, they might like the Puppet Master, but they will say she is only the villain because of the Fire Nation being the bigger villains and what they did to her.
Mm-hmm.
They need it to be black and white. And the point is that the world isn't black and white. Everyone has the capacity for good. Everyone has the capacity for evil. No nation is inherently good or evil. Depending on what time of the world you're looking at, they might have been both. The Fire Nation, in the time of Legend of Korra, are good guys. In the time, hell, Fire Lord Izumi, Zuko's daughter, straight up says, "I'm not interested in fighting your war. We've already got too much of a bad history in fighting world wars. The Fire Nation will not partake in this. I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Which is huge. And I feel like people just don't want to engage with that because they're fucking baby brain. Oh, I watched this on Nickelodeon. I just want a really simple good versus evil fight. And they miss the nuance for it. And so I think some of these people appreciate the Avatar franchise for all the wrong reasons. And I here it is. Here's my opening. That's what led to shit like the live action Netflix Avatar, which tries to run on people's nostalgic feelings of The Last Airbender while missing the fucking point. What do you mean Sokka's not a misogynist at the start?
Yeah.
People would go, oh,
like that arc is important.
Yeah. You know who make up a lot of misogynists in the world? Teenage boys.
Yeah.
It might be realistic to the character to have him go through an arc of learning to appreciate women, but also might be an important character focus for the real life boys watching the show to go, oh, maybe I'm wrong for acting this way towards women.
Yeah.
Would have been nice, but they erased that part of his character. What do you mean Toph is earthbending letters into the ground for Aang to read? She can't write.
I know that bothered me. That bothered me.
She's blind. They make jokes about it in the original show that she can't write. If it was like Braille dots or something appearing on the ground, that might be one thing, but Braille doesn't exist in that world anyway, so, what's the other stuff? What the fuck? What was up with the Serpent's Pass? The reason they did the Serpent's Pass in the original Last Airbender is because they didn't have Appa.
Yeah.
They have Appa.
Yeah.
Also, they just made Aang a really unlikable douchebag in season 2. Like,
yeah, true.
You know how Aang was like acting like an asshole during the desert episode?
Yeah.
It's like, what if we did that for like half of the season? And he just starts saying shit that makes no sense and is really unlikable. They had to change why he got beaten by Azula, because it was like, it wasn't that like he was basking for a moment in his newfound power and she sneak attacked him and like took advantage of the opportunity. No, he actually has her on the ground and has her beat and dead to rights, but then he hesitates, and that's when she counterattacks. That's a completely different, that's a very Han shot first kind of situation where you're wildly changing the character dynamics for the worse. Bad. The whole thing is bad. Netflix, stop fucking making live action anime adaptations. You're not good at it. Sorry, this was part of my mandate. I had to talk about
You
that.
you had to get here.
What do you?
I kind of vaguely noticed the show while it was on. I was unpacking while it was on, but yeah, there were like one or two things where I was like, oh, that was neat. And I don't remember what they are now. But for the most part, it was like, oh, I changed that, and I don't think it's
Why?
better.
Why? Why does Kyoshi appear to top?
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Why does she not only appear to top, but then ask, "Where's Aang?"
Yeah.
Excuse me? You are Aang! What do you mean? Oh, it hurts
my
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 head.
my buddy my pal Eng. Where'd he go?
It's not like I'm intrinsically connected to his fucking soul or anything. I need you, blind girl, to give me directions to where I am.
Oh, I remember something that I thought was neat just from a we made this one hardcore perspective is Wan Shi Tong eating a dude.
Okay, but that's kind of funny though.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. I still think it's worse writing than letting him get himself killed because of his obsession with knowledge.
Yeah, that's
Um,
better.
um, but that is objectively funny though, so I'll give it a pass. Um, but yeah, anyone who still at the end of all this doesn't understand what I mean when I say Korra is good and you're only thinking that it's bad, I implore you to watch actual bad shit. Watch M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender movie. Watch the Netflix Avatar, uh, The Last Airbender. And you'll see just how poorly fucking done an Avatar series can be, and maybe you'll
hmm
have some goddamn appreciation for The Legend of Korra.
hmm
Do you have anything else that you want to say?
Man, I don't think so. Let's see. The general Avatar stuff.
Sorry, just real quick. I again want to impress. I'm not saying you're automatically stupid and dumb and bad or whatever if you just prefer The Last Airbender to The Legend of Korra. They're two different kinds of stories and you might gravitate more towards one than the other. Or you might even just have more fond nostalgic memories of The Last Airbender. That's fine. That's valid. What I can't get behind is when people try to compete them against each other and say because they're two different kinds of stories that Korra is automatically bad, that the show is poorly written or the character is poorly written.
Yeah.
That I don't agree with, and I will call you stupid.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've got that I don't think so. It's
Uh,
a good show.
this will be a fun closing thing. Do you have a
I
favorite?
forgot the polar bear dog's name, but that's cool.
Naga.
Naga's awesome.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I love Naga.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool. Had to mention it.
yeah. Oh fuck, I never even talked about Lynn and Sue, who Toph's daughters, who are dope. I really
Oh
love
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Um, also, they blew up Poli's head. Holy shit! Can we really like one of the most hardcore defeats of an enemy in like all of animated fiction to come out of Nickelodeon, honestly. Because like Sue fucking bends a suit of armor around Poli's head as she does a combustion bend and blows
Yep.
up her own head. They
Yep.
couldn't show it, but like there's like one frame where you see the ignite underneath of the metal, and holy shit, dude, they went crazy. Legend of Korra season 3 is better than The Last Airbender any of the seasons, and that's I stand on that. Um, okay. Everyone, thank you for listening to our extremely emotional and passionate, and by our I mean my, extremely emotional and passionate defense of Korra. Korn, if you listen to this and you made it to the end, I love you, bro. I hope you didn't feel any kind of way about this. Again, it's just because we had the conversation right before. It's just the timing of it. But yeah, you can find all of the other episodes of Cape Corner. I'm kind of everywhere again now. Like
Yeah.
Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. But you can go to the Cape Corner Discord, especially. I have an episode archive of everything on there. You can pitch suggestions for episodes you want to hear. Scotty pitched a Star Trek episode, so we'll be doing that at some point in the future. So look forward to that. Um, uh, yeah, I don't really do the social media thing anymore. Okay, so you can also find all of our podcasting friends at the Hall of Pods Podcast Network. Jordan runs the Phantom Optimists. There's also uh, SJW Comic Book Club and True Believers, a comic book podcast, and Movies to Watch Before You Die. And was there something else? God, it's been a while. I think that's it.
That might be it. I've podcasted so infrequently that I've forgotten how to do them.
I I did right before I hit record. I was like, I gotta take a second to remember what my intro is before I hit record. Um, I think it's going about to do it. Everybody, thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay true to yourselves, and remember, we can all be heroes.